Good morning. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late. Um, I was trying to find my little book that I normally use, but I have some notes, but I was just like, where's my stuff? Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. Welcome to Success Saturday. My name is Lakeisha, and I am a certified life coach, an author, a teacher, and just a regular person on YouTube, just having a good old time with my tribe. So come on in, everybody. I'll get started once we have a good number of people on. How is your day today? Please let me know in the chat. Today it's a good day. It's like 56 degrees outside here, and it's not really rainy. It's like partly sunny because it's not really sunny, but it's not really rainy either. So and I gotta get me a little Success My Way cup. But until then, I always come on here with my little cups. This is my go-getter cup. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Kelly. How are you? Thanks for joining me this morning. I know it's bright and early, at least on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it's even earlier. So thank you so much for joining me today. So I'm just going to take a little sip of my coffee. Mm. And then we're going to get into it because we just have a lot to talk about. Um, Today is the last day, y'all, of my health series. I have been talking about health. I think this is my sixth video on health. So if you have not seen all of the health videos before this, go on my channel, start from healthy food part 1, go all the way to part 4 or part 5. I don't lost count. And then in the conversation, I kept talking about like food deserts, food deserts, food deserts. I was like, you know what? We need to talk about food deserts. So that's why we're talking about food deserts today, to just inform you of what that really is and some new terms around it. And then also to talk about like the effects of it, just increase your awareness of it. And if you want to contribute to fighting it. So it's going to be sort of a deep conversation today that I'm looking forward to having. Michelle says, it is regular, brother. I know, Michelle. I know. I'm so glad you're on here because you usually be sleeping. Michelle, I'm telling you, Michelle owns her own shop. If you have not gone to vinvonalley.com, you are missing out. You are missing out on beautiful, beautiful, beautiful planner accessories, stickers, and way, way more. Way, way more. So head on over to vinvonalley.com so you can see she is a Black-owned shop. So you want to support her, of course. And when you're there, make sure you use my code Lakeisha20 because I am a PR person for the shop. Good morning, Marva. Good morning, Sister Lakeisha. Today is our 39th anniversary and my baby boy's birthday. Oh, you got a lot going on today. I have a meeting at church. Oh, oh, it's gonna be 80. Oh wow. Well, Marva, I'm so glad you're on here, honey, because you got a lot to do, honey, today. And happy anniversary and happy birthday and have fun at church. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. My kids are on spring break. And I took my 6-year-old to Chuck E. Cheese yesterday and took him to get some Legos. That boy loves Legos. But we had a really good time yesterday. So that family time is super important. Michelle says, oh, good morning, Mark. All right, y'all. So let's get started because we do have a lot to talk about. I always say, please bring your pen and paper. I realize that some of you cannot bring pen and paper because you may be on the road or something like that. But of course, you have the replay of the video if you want to go back to the video and take some notes. So today, at the end of this video, I'm also going to talk about some opportunities to be life coached by me. I do have an academy and I also have a new e-course coming up that I want to tell you about. So I'll tell you about that at the end of this talk. So far, we have talked about, I think, almost everything about food. We're not talking about healthy food. So we've been talking about carbohydrates. We've been talking about cholesterol. We've been talking about protein. We have been talking about so many different things, y'all. I can't even remember all of them. But please get in our Facebook group. I have all of the resources that I use in our Facebook group. So please get in that Facebook group. You'll see the link in the description. Or you can also search on Facebook Success My Way Coaching with Lakeisha, and then I'll just pop up. So it is a free Facebook group for anybody to join. And I call my community my Success Tribe. So if you want to join my Success Tribe, make sure you get on over to that Facebook group. All right. So this topic is dear to my heart because I grew up in one of these so-called food deserts, and so I know what it's like. Like I hear when I was doing my research, and I put my glasses on because I'm about to read. Hi, Antoinette. Good morning, lady. Okay, you'll be in the car. Okay, all right, thank you. And you watch the replay. Thank you, lady. Make sure you comment so I can know you're there. I usually respond to comments for people who watch the replay. All right, y'all. I gotta get my life with these glasses, honey. I bought these things to put on my glasses from Amazon because I keep losing my glasses, and I hope they don't age me. But they were a little bling blingy. I thought they were cute. But in my research, I found like a lot of people talking about this topic who did not really grow up in these areas or have to experience living in areas where there's sparse food. I did. For those of you who know my story, you know I grew up really poor and just had a very difficult life, especially back in the 80s when crack cocaine was out. I mean, it was just really, really bad for a lot of people who live in my community, predominantly Black communities. So this topic is dear to my heart because I actually experienced this, and I did not really understand that this was a systemic racial problem until I got older and started to understand the ways of the world. So, being a kid, um, in a food desert, you don't know, you just happen to be alive. I just want to say that this topic is going to be deep. It's not going to be a fun topic like some other ones. It's going to be like a serious topic. So I just want to warn you. But I will love to have you converse with me in the chat. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know your experience. I know I'm not the only one who grew up in a food desert. There's some other people. But let's get started to talk about like what a food desert is. So the term did not come from the community. I'm going to start right there. Food desert is a term that was coined by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And the term means a community that has a grocery store more than 1 mile away, where most of the people in the community don't have transportation. So if you don't have transportation, and if the only grocery store in your neighborhood is more than 1 mile away, they say you live in a food desert. Now, there has been recent advocates around this topic who do not like the term food desert. And the reason why is because a desert is a thriving ecosystem. A desert is not like what we think, like barren of life. A desert is a thriving ecosystem, and a desert is natural. The problem with saying it's a desert, it abdicates the fact that racism plays a huge part in food deserts. So a lot of people they don't call it a food desert, they call it food apartheid. And the reason why they call it food apartheid, because they want people to know simply that it's not a natural occurrence for people not to have food. I mean, food, everybody should have the right to food. Everybody should have the right to food. So they're saying it's not natural that whole communities don't have grocery stores. That's actually designed. And I want to talk about that in a minute. So it's systemic racism. So I know a lot of people may feel uncomfortable with this topic, white and black. And it's okay. And it's totally okay. But it's not going to stop me from talking about it. It's not going to negate my experience living in a neighborhood with no grocery store, because I can tell you what we used to eat. And some of you probably can attest to what you used to eat too. But it is a major problem. Usually in areas where there's no grocery store, a lot of health problems happen. Y'all remember at the top of COVID? Remember at COVID when they said that Black people were dying more than anybody else from COVID? Well, part of that is because if you're living in an area where food is not readily available and you don't have a lot of options, you eat what you eat. It leads to all kinds of diseases, diabetes. Like I have diabetes right now, and I know it stems from my childhood not having access to healthy food, always eating processed food. Um, Diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and people make stereotypic assumptions about Black people why we're unhealthy. But this is one reason why we're unhealthy, because a lot of us as children did not have access to fruit, fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh milk, things like that we did not have access to. And I know for some of you who've never heard of this term before, who never knew this was going on, this is going to be a shocker to you. But a lot of people, actually I have numbers here. I've heard varying numbers, but anywhere from 17.4 million to 39.4 million people in the United States live in places where there's no grocery store. Okay, and it mostly affects urban neighborhoods, usually Black neighborhoods, and it mostly affects some rural. I always have a problem saying that, rural areas. So that's the term, that's the problem, and that's how many people are going through the problem. Now, my point of going through this is to make you aware that this is happening, and you take it, process it, and do what you want with it. Like, we've been talking about healthy food, but I feel um like this healthy food series is incomplete without talking about the fact that a lot of people really don't even have access to healthy food. So now that I've explained it, comment in the chat if you have grown up in a place where grocery stores were sparse. So I'm going to tell you my story. So I remember growing up in neighborhoods where there was a lot of people in a concentrated area, usually because the neighborhood is cut off. Like I grew up in DC in the 80s. So usually the neighborhood is cut off either by train tracks. I had train tracks coming through my neighborhood, y'all. Either by train tracks or by highways. There's a famous Black neighborhood that was thriving in Miami, and two highways were built between the neighborhoods. So the neighborhood was broken off into four different neighborhoods and cut off. So some neighborhoods, where especially where Black people live, were cut off from other places. And this actually started probably like in the 1960s. In the 1960s, where it was a boom of like people moving to the suburbs, and there was something called white flight, when white people would move out of urban areas into suburban areas, and a lot of the economic things move with them out to the suburbs, including grocery stores. It's really difficult for big business grocery stores to set up in a neighborhood where other systemic racial things are happening, like housing disparities and things like that. It's difficult for them to get loans. It's difficult for them to get insurance to set up in a neighborhood. The good news is that since about maybe like 2008 or so, there's been initiatives by states and governments to fix this problem. So that's the good news. The good news is that the state and the government is aware of these spaces. So that's the good news. The bad news is that it still is not making a difference everywhere. It's not working fast enough. There's still a lot of neighborhoods that just don't have grocery stores. So you like, if they don't have a grocery store, what do they eat? I'm about to get to that in a minute because I grew up in one. I can tell you what I used to eat. Antoinette said, "You are keeping it 100, Lakeisha." Yeah, thank you, thank you. I always try to. I don't like when people talk to me and they beating around the bush and they explaining me around. No, just get to the chase. Just get to the chase. Um, so anyway, so there's a lot of terms, and I put them in my title because a lot of people use different terms. They say food desert, that's actually used by the government. They say food swamps, which is another natural habitat. But a food swamp is a place where fast food and junk food outnumbers the access to fruits and vegetables. That's where I live. If you say it's a food swamp, that's where I live. But again, some people use food apartheid. I'm not really a person on vocabulary because I feel like vocabulary sometimes takes us away from the problem and gives us an excuse not to dive deep in the problem. When you like psychoanalyze the vocabulary. Now, I don't care what you call it. There is people living in the free country who do not have access to a basic need, which is food. I mean, that's just the fact. Okay. I'm telling you, we sometimes don't have access to food. It depends on how much money we got. So if you've ever struggled with food, sometimes just imagine families who struggle with food all the time and what that might feel like, look like, and sound like. Okay. Um, so I got notes, y'all, and my notes are like everywhere because I was going crazy. I was like, I was going crazy with this topic. So I'm probably gonna be talking everywhere, but there are other terms like food justice, food equity, that people use. So all of this goes to say that there are people out there who are starving for healthy food. Now we're talking about healthy food. A lot of these neighborhoods where you say if they don't have a grocery store, what do they eat? They're eating from corner stores, they're eating from carryouts, and they're eating from fast food places like McDonald's. If you go anywhere that is what low income housing is, you want to see carryouts, you're going to see liquor stores, you're going to see corner stores, and you're going to see McDonald's. Let's already say McDonald's. Hi, Kim. How are you? And Marva said, "Yep, true that." So that's what going back to my story. That's what I had to eat. We ate a lot from carry out. Now we did have one grocery store. Let me tell you about the grocery store we had. I remember when I was little. We had one grocery store, but it was ran by Asians. I was too little to know which nationality they were. And the food store, I hated going in there. It was a lot of processed food, and the food that was refrigerated would always be spoiled because I think the refrigerators weren't cold enough. So we stopped buying milk. We didn't buy milk. We drank a lot of powdered milk, which has a lot of sugar. You're talking about powdered milk. Oh, that has a lot of sugar. But the milk in the refrigerators was spoiled. So we would be paying our money for spoiled milk, and we weren't getting our money back. I remember but it was a place we could walk to, right? If we were hungry, if we didn't have breakfast or whatever, at least we could walk to this supermarket. By the time I was by the time I got to high school, that supermarket was gone. Y'all, the supermarket left. It was the only place we could go to even try to get some veggies. It left. It left, and when it left, all we had was the corner store. So then I remember we would eat for breakfast chips and Snicker bars and sodas. That's all we had. I didn't even have anything else. So I just want to also get rid of the stereotype that just, Black people, we are unhealthy, we eat poor. Well, if you're poor and you live in a neighborhood with nothing to eat, you're gonna eat what you got to eat. That's all you got to eat, and it's destroying you. And this goes with health disparities. We didn't have a hospital in our neighborhood. Um, we didn't have a lot of resources in our neighborhood. It was survival mode. It was like constant survival mode all the time. So and Michelle said, "Yep." Um, so yeah, I remember eating like these lemon pies. Who remember those lemon pies with the cream in them? Oh, we had a lot of donuts, a lot of packaged stuff, um, and juice. Oh my gosh, it was so much juice. I don't even remember the store selling water. We had a lot of juice, a lot of soda. Sunny Delight. Sunny Delight was like orange juice. It looked like orange juice. It wasn't orange juice. Who knows what the heck Sunny Delight is? Can anybody tell me what Sunny Delight is? Because to this day, I don't know what it is. But it looks like orange juice, and we used it like orange juice. Another place we would get our food was the liquor stores and the corner stores. Now they had canned food, like they probably maybe had canned tuna, maybe they had canned, Vienna sausages and stuff like that, but I remember going in the store and it having dust on it because they've had it in the store for probably a year till canned food take a long time to expire, so they will keep it in the store, like yeah. Oh, you said it's punch? Okay, that means it has a lot of sugar in it. So yeah, so a lot of people think that, "Oh, we know the solution, just put more grocery stores in the neighborhood." Well, we're gonna talk about that too. I mean, it's more than just putting the grocery stores back in the neighborhood. It's more than that. But you know, in my research, I was looking at different cities and like who's here? Anybody here from Memphis or know about Memphis? They call Memphis the hungriest city in the United States. Um, just a lot some food destitute places are extremely like concentrated like in Memphis, but they're everywhere in the US. um it got so bad that some corner stores sold more groceries than grocery stores in these neighborhoods. Some corner stores sell more groceries than grocery stores, so you can imagine why are corner stores selling more groceries than grocery stores? Because grocery stores not there. A whole population of people, over 500 people or more, are getting all of their nutrition from a corner store. Okay. Good morning, Janet. Michelle said, "Oh my God, my mom bought Sunny D all the time." Yeah, yeah. Hi, Janet. Good morning. Hi, everyone. So we didn't have any farms. Like now there are some people are advocating they're growing farms in urban neighborhoods. And I'm talking more urban because that's where I grew up. Um, they're bringing farms in urban neighborhoods. There's a lot of initiatives. You got mobile fresh markets where you can get fruits and vegetables off a truck. I know they have some of those in Washington, D.C., where I grew up now, that goes through the neighborhood. Um, and really, like, this started with Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama, a Black woman like me. Um, Michelle Obama started the Let's Move campaign. Anybody remember that campaign? She started the Let's Move with Beyonce was like, get healthy. Well, a big part of Michelle Obama's campaign was to decrease the amount of people who don't have access to grocery stores. So she did a partnership with Walmart. She did a partnership with a lot of different Walgreens and some other big business, because big business does not support poverty. Well, big food business does not support poverty in the way that we think. They don't put their grocery stores like um I saw I can say I grew up seeing giants. Giant food still has some places in really um food insecure areas, right? But like I remember this Safeway that used to be in a neighborhood that I used to live in when I was in my 20s, and I haven't been to that neighborhood in years. So I went back to that neighborhood thinking I was gonna still see the Safeway. Y'all, the Safeway was gone. It was gone. It was replaced by a Dollar Tree. It was like the biggest Dollar Tree I ever seen. So you go in there, people in there shopping. Y'all, they're not just shopping for stuff in the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree sells food, but it's all 100%, almost 100% processed food. You got bacon that's processed. Okay. Then I went into the candy aisle. I saw candy that I never even knew existed. That Dollar Tree has so much candy in it. The Dollar Tree where I live at right now hardly has no candy in it, y'all. So I've seen this stuff with my own eyes. I've seen it and I've lived it. So I know it's happening. So it's very difficult, y'all, for us, even as adults, to figure out how we're going to eat healthy every day and how we're going to feed our kids healthy every day. That is a challenge, especially for Black families who are living in neighborhoods where the food is not accessible. A lot of people in these neighborhoods have to get on the bus. They have to get on the bus or catch an Uber. Y'all know how much an Uber costs? So if I had my SNAP card, I have to figure out how to get money to either get on the bus, which is dangerous and it's time consuming and it's exhausting carrying bags on a bus, on a public bus. Or I have to figure out how to get money to get back and forth in an Uber just to get me a basic necessity of food. Like for me, I personally think nobody should pay for food. Food should be like air. Like it's a basic human need. Why do we have to pay for it and struggle to get it? I'm just saying, isn't food a basic human need and a human right? Isn't food, right? So why do we even have to pay for food? Why do people have to hop on an Uber and a bus to go get food? I don't know. Antoinette. Oh, hi. Is Crystal Light good to drink? I don't drink Crystal Light. I don't drink Crystal Light. Um, I don't know if it's good to drink or not. You have to research it, Janet. But I think when it comes to alternatives, like say if I had a big old soda right here and Crystal Light right here, I would choose Crystal Light. Antoinette said, regardless of what you call it, some things need to be done to improve this unfortunate situation. I don't know what to do to help. Oh, Antoinette, we're going to talk about what you can do to help. We're going to talk about that. So, the good news, Antoinette, is that you can help by donating to organizations who are fighting this systemic racial problem. There are a lot of different organizations that know about this issue that need donation money to combat the issue. So even if you give a little $20 a month or something like that to an organization who's providing farms, providing mobile fresh markets, and there's a lot of organizations you can just donate to. Also, look at your church. My church has a pantry, and that's another way we can combat this issue. Churches have pantries, also schools. When I was a principal, and if you know my story, you know I was a principal of 2 schools. But one of the schools I was at, I managed to start a food pantry out of the school where we were selling fresh fruits and vegetables. There's a program called Share. Share puts fruits and vegetables on people's doorsteps. So the good news is there are people out there fighting the fight, and we can support them by just donating to them if you can't do anything else. So I'm not telling you this information for you to feel hopeless. Like I want you to feel hopeful. One, the government is on the radar of the US government. Two, Michelle Obama kicked it off. She kicked it off. And companies like Walmart, I got the numbers here. Walmart opened more stores in low-income neighborhoods, which was amazing. It says, what are my notes on Walmart? Walmart. Okay. So here are the numbers for Walmart. So Walmart opened, because of Michelle Obama's initiative, Walmart opened 442 stores in 5 years. But the problem is, when they left office, Walmart ended up closing 154 of those stores. In 2016, Walmart actually, after Michelle Obama and Barack Obama got out of office, they closed the stores. They closed 154 of them, and sadly, 121 of them were closed in neighborhoods where the income of the whole family was $54,000 or less. So again, the initiative was great. 442 stores were open, but then afterwards, 154 stores, mainly in Black neighborhoods, where the income of the house is $54,000 or lower, they were closed. And they didn't reopen. So we have to be creative with, like, because we see that big business is not reliable. So there are some creative people. I read about this woman. She was beautiful. I didn't get her name. I feel so bad. I didn't get her name. But she said she learned how to farm from women in Ghana. And now in her neighborhood, she goes back and she teaches the children how to farm. Because farming is becoming obsolete. Y'all, the average age of a farmer is 59. Farmers are retiring. We don't have a new generation of farming, a new thriving generation, I say. We got some people, but it's not thriving. So this lady, Black lady like me, she decided to teach children and supply food to families in neighborhoods where there's no grocery store. And she talks about how one little girl saw her and said, "When I grow up, I want to be a farmer like you." And that just put a smile on her face. So farming is something we could do, like learn how to farm, learn how to grow food, and then teach other people how to grow food. You can grow food in your house, you can grow food in your backyard. There's other ways you can grow food. I know Marva's probably hopped off, but I know Marva has a garden and she grows food. So these are all like different things that you can do to help the situation, and just keep up with it, advocate for it. Look at your state legislation. Just know if any voting comes out around like grocery stores in neighborhoods and Walmarts in neighborhoods. I remember people fighting Walmarts coming into neighborhoods. People fight Walmarts to come into neighborhoods. So yeah, it is political, it's socioeconomic, it's racial, it's all that. It's all that. um Michelle said, "I used to drink Crystal Light and stopped because I was advised that it has aspartame, which causes pain, and I have severe arthritis." Yeah, yeah, that's good. Thank you, Michelle, for that. Because I was like, I don't really drink Crystal Light, so I don't really know what's in it. And aspartame is the artificial sweetener. Yeah, I don't eat NutraSweet or Equal. I don't eat any of those. That's probably why, because it has that aspartame in it. Janice says the Walgreens she work is low income neighborhood and it's a big walking area. Even if there is a blizzard, we open. Yeah, so Walgreens is another big business that partnered with Michelle Obama to put more grocery food, more fresh fruits and vegetables in neighborhoods where there's no grocery stores. The problem is Walgreens cannot confirm how many of their stores have fresh fruits and vegetables in them. They may have processed food, but that's like a corner store. We need more foods with fresh fruits and vegetables, because people are getting sick because they're eating processed food. If you're eating processed food about 60-70% of the time, of course you're going to over time develop unhealthy stuff. Of course. Oh, Marva, you still here? Yes, Marva, I was talking about how I know you grow vegetables and things like that. And so like people like Marva and other people who know how to farm and know how to grow vegetables, like that's a little thing you can do, is teach other people how to do it. Yeah. I got some more notes here, y'all. I don't want to talk about that yet. Yeah, so they were saying how some states are really pouring money into this problem. Like, I want to give a shout out to the state of Pennsylvania. Who lives in Pennsylvania? Shout out to the state of Pennsylvania. They put $147 million into financing food initiatives. So that states, and actually, there's some other states who are doing really good. I'm so proud of them with financing food initiatives. One is New York. Who's from New York or lives in New York? New York is pouring money into food initiatives. I live in Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. Maryland is pouring money into food initiatives. California is another state that's pouring money into food initiatives. So this is a problem that a lot of people didn't think was happening. I'm so glad that because of Michelle Obama's campaign back in the day, back in the early 2000s, that big business and the government, the Department of Agriculture is aware of this. It's a huge problem. And I wanted to go back. Oh, this lady in DC, and these are all videos I watched, and I failed to get these people's names. So I do apologize, but Black lady like me in DC, she opened up a food hall because she lived in a neighborhood where she didn't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So now she has a food hall, which I love because some people don't like the word food pantry because pantry has a stigma to them that, I'm poor and so some people don't call them food pantries. They call them food halls or food fresh mobile market. They're changing the names to get rid of the stigma behind just going through a food pantry. Because some people, even if they don't have food, they don't want to go to a food pantry because they feel like that should go to like homeless people or something like that. So that's why people are getting away from the word pantry when they open up things like this. So she calls hers a food hall. There's also another organization that you want to check out in DC called DC Hunger Solutions. DC Hunger Solutions. Mara says Michelle Obama also had a garden at the White House. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right, Marva. She sure did. I remember. It's not there anymore. But yeah, she did have a garden at the White House. All right, this is interesting, y'all. Let me tell y'all this. And thank y'all for hanging in with me with this serious topic. Usually we have fun and we laughing and joking, but this is important. So this is interesting. So what I learned, because we always say, like, me and my friend who live close to me, we're like, where's Whole Foods? Why won't they put a Whole Foods in our neighborhood? We need a Whole Foods. We want some organic food. We got a Yes Market. Is it Yes? I think it's called a Yes Market. But we like, where's Whole Foods? Where's Trader Joe's? Because we know those are like the organic places that sell all kinds of fruits and vegetables. Like you wouldn't even find in a normal grocery store. Like, why don't we see Whole Foods or Trader Joe's? So I found out that some advocates of communities protest Whole Foods and Trader Joe's coming into it. Some advocates for these communities that don't have grocery stores, they do not want the Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. I was like, but if there's no grocery store, why wouldn't you want the Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's, which have all the fruits and vegetables and the organic stuff and all the healthy stuff? Come to find out, this is what I didn't know. Studies have been shown that when Whole Foods and Trader Joe's enters into a neighborhood, gentrification starts. Y'all, this is fascinating. This is fascinating to me. They said when a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's enters into a neighborhood that's non-white, gentrification starts. They said usually the prices of the housing goes up. Look at this. I was amazed. The prices of the houses surrounding the Trader Joe's and Whole Foods goes up. And It displaces low-income families. Low-income families usually have to eventually move out of the neighborhood when a Trader Joe's and a Whole Foods show up. This is fascinating. They said the average household salary that's close to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods is $62,000 to $63,000. So if your whole household does not make $62,000 or $63,000, you're probably going to be pushed out of the neighborhood when a Whole Foods and a Trader Joe's shows up. I'm like, what? Say what now? I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. What? I'm getting punished because I want Whole Foods and Trader Joe's in my neighborhood. Y'all gonna eventually put me out because I want. I mean, this is just fascinating. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just like a wowie. So also, if this is a topic that you're really interested in, there are a lot of grants and loans and things like that attached to fighting this problem. So if you want to take it serious and try to go get a grant and start a nonprofit and stuff, you can do that. You can do that. It's totally fine. Going back to Michelle Obama, it was nice because when she went through her initiative, she wanted 1,500 brand new stores that sell fruits and vegetables in neighborhood. 1,500. So they said to this day it's only like 848. So I mean, it fell short. It fell short in big time. Because what's 1,500 minus 848? Hold on, let me calculate it. I just want to see how. She wanted 1,500 new grocery stores in neighborhoods, but only 848. So it fell short by 652 grocery stores never got built in some neighborhoods. So I say all this to say, yes, people are fighting it, but we still got a long way to go. We still have a long way to go. Okay. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. Oh, so I wanted to briefly talk about farms. Okay, now I'm not talking about food apartheid anymore. I'm talking about farms right now for a brief second because this was fascinating too. So as you know, like the average farmer is 59 years old. Farmers are becoming obsolete. And guess what's happening to our farmland? The 1%, the really rich people, they are buying up all of the farmland. I found a statistic that said 1.86% of land in the United States is owned by the 1%. Now, you might not think that's a lot of land, y'all. That's a lot of land. Rich people are buying up forests, ranches, and farms. They're buying the forest. They're buying ranches. And they're buying farms. And most of it is in the Midwest. Who lives in the Midwest? Anybody know? I know Bill Gates has been in the news because he just bought up a whole bunch of farmland. Bill Gates. I thought Bill Gates had the most farmland in the United States. No, he does not. Bill Gates has farmland about the size of New York City. Bill Gates has farmland about the size of New York City. But he's not the biggest owner of farmland. You got Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. He owns land the size of 2 New York cities. Jeff Bezos owns double of what Bill Gates owns in farmland, ranches, and forests. Why are they buying up all this land? Well, I know historically, land is wealth. The more land you got, the more wealthy you are. It's just pretty plain and simple. So maybe it's a rich man game. Who can buy the most wealth? Or maybe there's a strategic plan to them having a lot of land. I don't know. But surprisingly, the biggest owner of land in the whole America is somebody named John Malone. I need to look him up. What does John Malone do? I mean, I gotta look him up because I'm like, who's John Malone? Because they said his land is almost the size of Puerto Rico. So I say all this to say that these rich people are not they're not farming the land. They're not farming the land. So who's farming the land? If these three rich people who own a lot of land in the United States are not farming the land, who the heck farming the land? So what these rich people are doing is that they're taking the farmland and they're leasing it to farmers and they're renting it to farmers. Fascinating. They're buying up all this land that they don't even know what to do with. They just hire other people to take care of the land. They said the land is worth more money when you have people farming it. The land is worth more money when you have people farming it. So just think, if we had more farms in urban neighborhoods, how would that impact the value of the land that they're on? I don't know. This is the question. So stay tuned, because owning land is super expensive. That's why rich people can do it. And it's not like stocks. It's not stocks. It's not bonds. It's not even in the same category. It's freaking easy for rich people to get this land. They got the money. Land is expensive. They got the money. They buying the land, and they're hiring the farmers that used to own the land to till the land. And there was a lot of Black farmers a long time ago. It's probably like 1% Black farmers now. So for people of color to learn how to farm, that will be a plus. We have to know how to farm. We have to produce farmers, give scholarships to Black and brown children to become farmers. So that was my point with that. Like, farming, keep up with the news, keep up with this stuff, because farming is tied to food. Okay. Also, we're experiencing inflation. So in the grocery stores, it shows up as shrinkflation. Who's heard of shrinkflation? I'm like, there's too many words for me. Okay. Who's heard of shrinkflation? Anybody heard of shrinkflation? Can you tell me what shrinkflation is? I can tell you what shrinkflation is. To build condos. Say more about that, Marvin. No, that's not it, but that's why did you say to build condos? Shrinkflation is when the food industry gives you less stuff in the same packaging. Y'all, we be paying the same amount of money for a smaller amount of food. Y'all, I remember, where's Michelle? Michelle, weren't you on the phone with me when I had the chicken? I picked up a bag of chicken wings, like party wings. I picked up a bag of party wings, and I was on the FaceTime with Michelle, my friend Michelle. And the party wings was like $12.50 a bag. That bag used to be filled up. I picked the bag up and I squeezed the top of the bag. It was filled with half of the bag was filled. I could squeeze the top of the bag and only half of the bag was filled. That's shrinkflation. They gave me half of the chicken for a higher price, because the chicken used to be $11. Now it's $12.50 for a half bag of chicken. And they got to do it because they're like, if they keep the bag full of chicken, they're going to lose their business. Like, they have to do it, but isn't that messed up? So again, with processed food, you have to be a savvy shopper. Know that the bag of chicken is now half the bag of chicken. Okay. Know that, look at the ounces. Like, some things used to be like 8 ounces. Now it might be like 6 ounces, but you're paying the same amount or you're paying more money. Hi, Rhonda. That fact is very true. I live in a neighborhood where we have a Trader Joe's. Oh, in Sprouts. Oh, okay. I don't even know. Oh, what's Sprouts? I never never heard of that one. And I lived here before both came to the city. And the median income is above $90,000. Wow, thank you, Rhonda, for confirming that fact. Wow, that is amazing. So, Rhonda, was the income? Do you know if the income was 90,000 before they came? But that Trader Joe's is there, and now the median income is $90,000. Isn't that fascinating? The city I live in was known for their orange groves, and they now destroyed nearly all of the orange groves. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. So we just have to be aware of these things. We have to be politically aware where, where we have some influence, where we can donate people who are in this fight. Some people are very passionate about this topic. Donate to them so they can keep going. If we can help, we can help. Michelle said yes, and I was telling you the discount store changed the eggs from a dozen to a half dozen. It charging the same price. Yes, Michelle. Oh my God. That's right. I forgot you said that. Michelle said the discount store is charging the same price for they break the dozen of egg up into half. And then you got 6 eggs, but they charge the same amount of money as if you were paying for 12. So shrinkflation is going to hit even middle class pockets. Like shrinkflation is hitting everybody. So we just have to now be more creative, right, y'all? Like I never thought about growing food until now. I want to learn how to grow some herbs. Let me start with herbs. I want to start growing food. I've never really wanted to learn how to grow food, but something's going down. All these rich people buying up all this farmland. It's shrinkflation, and food apartheid is happening in a lot of neighborhoods. I think they said 6,500. Where's my notes? I did have a number attached of 65,000. Where is it? I got a lot of notes, y'all. I'm sorry. I had the number of neighborhoods in the United States that still don't have grocery stores. It was some astronomical number. So it's still more work to do. Yes, the income was lower in 1998 when I moved here. Sprouts is like a Whole Foods. Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. There's something else called the Clean Label Project. Check out the Clean Label Project. They help out in this area as well as you can donate to them. It's called the Clean Label Project. Okay. Yeah, and let's talk about fast food for a minute, and then I'm gonna leave after this. Let's talk about fast food. So, really, when segregation started, when white flight happened, when back in the 60s, when the suburbs opened up, and then you had Black people in concentrated areas called ghettos, called hoods. That's systemic. That's systemic too. These big tall buildings like Kapiti Green and Chicago, where they pack all these people together in one little area, and then don't put no grocery store, don't put no hospital, and expect people to thrive. Really? But then fast food saw money makers. So fast food ended up moving into the neighborhood. So now I have a 3-course meal of McDonald's. And then you have teenagers working in McDonald's. So when I was a teenager, we had a McDonald's and a Wendy's. I worked in a Wendy's. So what am I eating? I'm eating Wendy's. Wendy's is better than corner store food. And it's cheap. I can go to McDonald's and pay $1 and get a whole full-course meal. So if I don't have any money, if I'm stressed out, if I got to catch the bus to work, come home, tired, my kids are hungry, and I got $1, I'm taking them to McDonald's to get a Happy Meal. So that's another way that neighborhoods without grocery stores are being affected. It's just the fast food industry is just prevalent. You will see more McDonald's in a low income neighborhood than you will see grocery stores. More McDonald's than grocery stores. Let's talk about commercials. I want y'all to do this experiment because I did this and it's true because I did it. Do this experiment with me, y'all. Y'all ready? I want y'all to turn on BET, the Black Entertainment Television. If you have cable, if you don't have cable, I'm sorry. Analyze the commercials. Look at the type of commercials. You want to see a McDonald's commercial. You want to see a Checkers commercial. Then I want y'all to go over to the Hallmark channel. Go over to the Hallmark channel and watch the commercials. And see how many McDonald's commercials you see on that channel. Analyze the McDonald's. What TV stations are the McDonald's commercials showing up? Because you got kids watching these things. So I'm just saying. Are Black people just naturally unhealthy? Do we naturally like sugar? Or have we been fed sugar because we live in these food destitute areas and we're being marketed fast food every time we turn on the TV? I'm just saying. So I'm here to break a stereotype too. We have to look at this for what it really is. Let's call it what it really is. It's systemic racism. So we're trying to combat it. The government is aware, thanks to Michelle Obama. And we're just going to keep moving forward. That's all we can do. So hopefully you can share this information with your family and friends. The lack of food in neighborhoods is not the only thing. It's attached to a bigger problem. It's attached to lack of health care. It's attached to the jail population. It's attached to the housing discrimination. All this stuff is together makes a big old storm of mess in people's lives. And then they're blamed for it. Sorry. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. Tell your family and friends about this issue. Look it up on YouTube. Look at some, don't take my word for it. I did my own research, and I want you all to do your own research on this amazing topic. It's deep. It's deep, y'all. It's deep. So hopefully I have motivated you to be more conscious, more aware of your grocery situation and how healthy food is not readily available to everybody. And if you have the choice of processed food and healthy food, always choose healthy food. If you have the privilege of choice, because some people don't have a choice. So if you have the privilege of choice of processed food or healthy food, I implore you to always choose healthy food. Y'all hear what I'm saying? If you don't like healthy food because you grew up with processed food and your taste buds are processed, everything is an acquired taste. I remember when I didn't like healthy food. I didn't like Brussels sprouts. I made myself eat Brussels sprouts to the point now I love them. I eat them like chips. So you can turn any habit. You can change any habit. Hi, Tori. And speaking of changing habits, I have an announcement. Then I got to hop off. All right. So y'all, Success My Way Academy. I am starting Success My Way Academy. I think I'm going to start it like the beginning of June. That's best for me with my schedule right now. So I'm giving you a little bit more time to start. If you have not made your decision, we had Lacey on last week. He was so good. He's one of my former alumni. please join Success My Way Academy. I'm going to teach you how to not procrastinate. I'm going to teach you how to declutter and organize. I'm going to teach you how to get your money straight and start owning your own business. If you want to learn how to start a business, I got you. So, Success My Way Academy is a game changer. It is a life changer. So join the academy. Please click the registration information below if you want to find out more about that. Also, soon, very soon, I'm going to be marketing my new e-course. I'm doing an e-course on vision and goal setting. It's going to be straight e-course. You're not going to see me. You want to see a recording of me, but it's a straight e-course. It's going to be a low price point, and that is going to be something that I cannot wait to share with you so you can share with other people how to create vision for your life, how to create goals for your life, how to look forward to enhancing your life in new and different ways. The e-course is fire, y'all. It's fire. So I cannot wait to share it with you. So I'm about to go. Just a few people here. Antoinette says, check out Dr. Baptiste and Walsh on YouTube. Okay. The Slave Food Project. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Let me write that down. The Slave Food Project. The Slave Food Project, awesome. They talk about systemic racism, food, and health disparities in America on Friday nights. Thank you, Antoinette. That's amazing. So everybody write that down, Dr. Baptiste and Walsh. I will definitely be checking that out. Tori says, go for it, Lakeisha, and let Lakeisha change your life. Yeah, let me change your life. I'm a certified life coach, been certified for 8 years. I think I know a little bit about what I'm doing. So I can't wait to see you in the academy. All right, we'll talk more about this later on. I have to go. But you know what I'm about to say. Yeah, y'all know what I'm about to say. Today is Self-Love Saturday. Give yourself some love today. Just give yourself a hug. Just give yourself a hug. Say, I love you. And then go do something nice for yourself. Today I'm going to hang out with a friend. I'm so excited. I want to have some little girl time. So that's going to be the way I give myself some love today. But give yourself some love. Maybe you want to study more about food apartheid and things like that. Whatever you want to do, just make sure it makes you feel good and it makes you happy. All right. Thanks, Tribe. Thank y'all for hanging with me today. Until next time, see you soon. Bye, friends.